Good evening. Raleigh Water Board meeting, 6 o'clock. Call the meeting to order. Announcement, open house from May 4th. No, 8th, it's 9th already.
May 4th to the 8th.
No, I think it's open. Open house May 4th to May 8th this year at the water treatment plant. Contact the water department for details. At 6:05 to 6:15, we have the citizens query. And I'd like to ask everybody to put their cell phones on vibrate, please. And we go to approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Well, this is actually March 10th. Accept and approve the minutes of March 10th, 2015. Do I have a motion?
I said just one correction here. You said Buster Hill was a must, and I suggested buying a pickup truck overlay. Instead of, you know. That's the only thing.
Would you, the other one wanted to do this? Is that what you're saying?
You mentioned Prospect Hill,
Yeah.
and I mentioned buying a truck overlay.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't see anything.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Old business, April shut-off update.
We started out with 192 customers that were 60 days overdue. These customers received a letter notifying them that their water service would be terminated the week of April 20th if they did not pay their water bill by April 6, 2015. 86 customers responded and paid the water bill. On April 6, 2015, the water department sent out a second shut-off notice to 102 customers, notifying them their water would be terminated on the week of April 20th if they did not pay their water bill by April 17th. We started out with $74,322.61 in unpaid water bills, and we collected $16,264.82, leaving a balance of $58,057.79.
That's not too good, huh?
Since these totals, I know that people have come in and paid. There might have been another maybe $3,000 or $4,000 on top of that, so people are coming in and paying. A lot of people are going on payment.
Anything else on that? Well number 3 update. The motor for well number 3 has been reinstalled and the well is back online as of April 7th, 2015 and is working fine. It was discovered that there was no grease in the lower bearing from the factory. Due to lack of maintenance on the motor, the bearings wore down and needed to be replaced. Mary Beth has informed me of that all the pumps and motors are on a greasing schedule as of March 2015. No, they had no grease in it when it was on.
From the factory.
So do they stand behind it?
Yes, it's covering the warranty.
Update on the water lines. The water department placed liens totaling $43,000 on 34 properties with an outstanding balance of over $500. Due non-payback in November 2014, the water department has collected $34,630.59 to date.
So we still have, we have a balance of about $8,500 we're still trying to collect on those liens.
Did they get shut off notices?
I don't know.
Should they have gotten a shut off notice?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the accounts to see. I don't look at who's on the account on the list.
citizen query, anybody have any questions? No, we'll move on to, number 4, zero usage update. Mary Beth has been working with Penachek to resolve the zero usage on some accounts. Appointments have been scheduled. You have the information for the zero usage accounts. The appointments span between April 13th to April 22nd, 2015.
So we have in your packet that spreadsheet or that report that we generate. I apologize, it's really small, but you can see the notes on the level of effort. It's taken some time to figure out what's going on, so we decided to just schedule these appointments just to do an investigation. And we have discovered a few things on some of the accounts. We hope to have some of these resolved before the next billing process. But these customers that are getting a zero, they're being estimated. So it's not like we're not getting any revenue, but we're estimating them based upon the last time we got a read for the same time period.
Now, is this because some people have gone to wells?
No, some people actually just have faulty meters and they won't let us in their house to change it out. And there are just some people that have gone away, you know, to Florida or something for the winter. And the thing is that these customers we sent a letter out to the customer telling them that, you know, because it could be a problem with the meter. And all we ask the customer to do is call customer service.
Yep.
And if it's a simple phone call, you know, our typical habits are we're gone from November to March 1st. We note that on the account so that when the zero read comes up, the account is already flagged, there's no, you know, cause for alarm. And then we know when we start to see usage in March again, oh yeah, they're back. So, but some of them are just, some of them have a well, a private well, and they have a water service, and there's a water meter in there. And the radio read system, it picks it up, it picks the signal up. So that's one of the other things that's we're trying to get a handle on those, who has a private well but also has a water service. So some customers have both.
So in other words, that thing picks up that there's water running, even though it's not going through the
It
meter?
picks a signal up on the meter head. So when it reads a zero, no usage.
No, we got one here, what's this, the ball field, it's 477 Maple Street, for the town?
That's probably a seasonal meter.
Any questions on number 5? Move on to number 6. And I go from 5 to 7. Wait. That's 6.
Next page.
Yeah, 0 is update, we already just did that.
Next one.
Stuff, yeah. Vote on the new schedule rates. Your numbers are off from one sheet to the other.
The learning curve.
That's it. It's working a bit so far. On the old bill, this is number 7 actually, in this one. Vote on the new fees. On March 26, 2015, the Water Board voted to increase the water rates for fiscal 16. As part of the increase to cover the operating costs, the fees will also increase. I'd like to make a motion to accept the new fee schedule and to have an effective date of July 1st, 2015. Can I get a second on that?
7/1/15. I'll make
Yeah,
it.
July 1st, 2015.
Make the motion.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. This is the same thing, right?
Nope, that's, I'm gonna do that one too.
Vote on an effective date for the rate increase. I'd like to make a motion to have an effective date of July 1st, 2015 for the rate increases. Setting the effective date for July 15, 2015 will allow the water department to collect all the revenues for fiscal year 16 and to allow sufficient time to make the adjustment to the billing software. Can I get a second?
Effective date for the rate increase, we just voted it.
Yeah, this is the
One.
new fee. No, this is the rate increase, correct?
Yeah, you voted to increase the rates, but we didn't set the effective date. So that's what we're doing right now, Stu. We have two things. The fee schedule, which is this right here. These are the fees.
Right, that's that, okay. The effective date for the increase should be the new fiscal year, 7/1.
Yes.
I made a motion and I'll go for a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, while we're still open for citizen query, I do have two questions about the no usage. I wonder if you could tell me the legal rights that the water department may have for enforcement for those that are not allowing access to the meters. And secondly, for those that have a well as well as water access, they will be assessed the $20 flat fee because they are big users?
Yes.
Okay.
If a customer can't deny us access to the water meter, we can shut their water off and deny us access. We have actually had a couple that we have, but during the winter months, we really couldn't do any shut-offs. We were there. And we do have some customers that, we mentioned this before, you know, going back and forth from town water to a private well. So we're looking at these things, but if a customer denies us access, we can shut their water off.
Okay.
And then they will be assessed a $50 shut-off fee and a turn-on fee.
Thank you. Thank you.
And go to new business. Vote on the dedication of the water treatment plant. Discuss the opening ceremonies for the water treatment plant. We'd like to recommend that we dedicate the water treatment plant to Alexander Good. Alexander was a Raleigh resident, had 42 years of community service to the town. Mr. Good served as the first water superintendent for the water department in 1949 to 1952. You have in your picket a list of accomplishments and a photo. A plaque will be made in his honor and displayed at the water plant. Any discussion?
Nothing to say.
When he was on the light board, the water board,
Chief of Police.
deputy fire chief, forest fire warden, chief of Raleigh Board of Fire Engineers, town of Raleigh constable, superintendent of the fire alarm.
Where did this come from, this dedication?
Chairman Mary gave this to me to run by the board.
Any other discussion? If not, I'd like to make a motion that we dedicate the water treatment plant to Alexander Good. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? I'll say an aye. Aye.
Chairman, the opening ceremony, I had included a little program that I drafted up, and I just a registration, welcome, the dedication ceremony to Mr. Good, ribbon cutting ceremony, refreshments and / social, and then displays, and then tour of the treatment plant for that festivities on May 4th. Does that sound good to you, or?
move in.
Also,
Okay.
okay. Vote to allow Commissioner Stuart Dazell to work on the vehicle bid specs with the water superintendent. I'll make that motion that we have Sue work on that. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Water treatment plant issues.
Well, we continue to have some small issues. I gave a memo to the water board on March 26th regarding the hot water heater at the treatment plant. The operators detected there was leaking out of the hot water heater from the pipe onto the floor. It's still under warranty, so it's unfortunately, because of where it broke, they're gonna replace it with a brand new hot water heater, so, that's in the process of being taken care of right now. And then,
Excuse me, how did it fail? I can't remember. What was the failure?
it was leaking out of the pipe from the heater into the floor drain. The 3-inch pipe that the drain pipe is attached to is a flue pipe for the gas burner to the outside of the building. The drain line allows any condensation of water vapor from the combustion gases to collect and drain off. There should not be a steady flow of water coming from the pipe unless there is a leak in the tank inside of the combustion chamber. So that's where it was leaking inside.
Defective tank.
Yeah.
Okay, for that. Move on to water conservation restrictions. Mary Beth will update the board.
I sent off notification to the Mass DEP, water utilities required to notify them annually of what their intent is for our water conservation. And so I didn't change anything, I just used the policy that was already in place, which is triggered by the flow of the Parker River. The flow drops below 6 cubic feet per second for 3 consecutive days. That's when we institute the mandatory water bans and we put up the signs. So that notification has been done. And I also included some water conservation tips. It's just a little extra effort on the town to submit it to the DEP.
Water board communications policy. The water board needs to set a communication policy in order to conduct water business efficiently. Mary Beth has drafted a policy for the board to review. We discussed it at March 26, 2015, and it was tabled to allow the commission to submit comments or edits to the policy. Commissioner Toomey, at the last meeting, you mentioned you would like to review closer, and Mary Beth asked if you could get her your edits so she could make the changes for the policy for the board to discuss. Did you provide Mary Beth with the edits?
No, I'm still doing some research.
So they want to hold that off for another meeting?
That'd be up to you. You want to table it?
Or we hold that off the next meeting? All right.
Mr. Toomey, when do you think you might have that to me?
I'm waiting for some calls on some of the policies you brought up. So I don't know when they're gonna get back to me, so I'm trying, I called twice already, so. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Okay, next one is trench excavation policy. Mary just will discuss the policy.
I drafted up a trench excavation policy based upon the labor standards in OSHA for job site safety. And basically it's also a training document and explains how to set up the cones and the barricades depending on what speed zone you're in. So the guys will have a reference material as well. And that's it. Has some, excavation permits and some other forms that we'll be using. And a checklist, so when the guys are on site, you know, making sure dig safe is followed. You know, we had police detail and those kinds of things.
I would like to make a motion to accept the trench excavation policy as written by Mary Beth. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
I would like to add, if the soil in question, the trench box should come out.
Yes, they have to classify the soil type A, B, or C, and make a decision about who's shoring or trench box.
Testing of the alarms and control policy. Mary Beth will discuss the policy.
Under the Mass DEP Chapter 6 guidelines, we're required to test the alarms and controls and the interlocks on the chemical feed systems. And this policy that I drafted up is out of the Chapter 6 guidelines and what the operators need to do and the frequency at which they need to do the testing. That's what this is. It's the safety features.
Any discussion? Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to accept the testing of the alarms and controls policy as written. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Security policy.
I drafted up a security policy for the water department. Talks about the, all of our access to our buildings, the padlocks, the security keys, the protocol, and the types of things that will be, you know, vehicles will be locked, and if they can't be housed in a garage, they'll be locked. Doors are locked, windows are checked, those kinds of things.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the security policy as written. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
No, I want to review this.
Did you say aye, Steve?
Yes, we did.
Chain of command policy. Mary Beth will discuss the policy.
This policy is twofold. It talks about the chain of command during emergency preparedness, and outlines the responsibilities of what the water treatment plant operators do during an emergency, what the distribution staff, and then what the administration is doing during the emergency. The other part of the policy talks about roles and responsibilities of the water superintendent and the water board.
Any discussion?
I'd like more time to review this, and we can table it.
This policy is just an expansion of the policy the water board already has adopted on October 21st.
I think this should go in with number 5.
5 and 9. And 5 was the one that we put on hold the next meeting, correct?
Communication policy, right?
Right. Okay, so we're gonna put that on hold. Anyway.
Yeah, sure, that's what you want to do.
I'd like to, in other words, combine it with number 5.
You want to table it?
If we table it, but perhaps we can marry them three together in this policy.
We'll take a look at the two different policies before the next meeting. They actually are different.
Okay. Record retention policy, Mary, that's what discuss the policy.
Excuse me, we're required, under Mass General Law to, and also the Mass DEP, to retain records for, depending on what it is, for a certain amount of time frame. And that policy outlines the records retention schedule for different records, like our water quality testing, customer billing records, purchasing records. And this came out of the Mass General Law.
Any discussion?
Where did you get all this information? Is that from some state agency? Or?
Yes. Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Municipal Records Retention Manual.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the record retention policy as written. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Our next meeting is May 12th. Isn't that the day of election? The election is the 12th. Well,
I'll tell you in a second. Town election is the 12th.
do we want to do it that day or just make it a short one so we're still out of here? Or
It's up to you, if you want, we can go to.
you guys have any?
I don't have any problem.
We'll have it, we'll just hopefully be out of here, before the end of
So
the.
we'll just keep the agenda short. Okay.
Yep.
The election, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, the election starts at noon time and goes to 8 o'clock at night because it's a local election.
Anything else?
That's it.
And you have a mo?
So it's agreed we'll meet on the 12th.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn. Can I get a second?
So,
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
excuse me, anybody else have anything to say?
Well, Larry?
The only other comment I have is just for your information, I think, about the liens back in November 18th. I think you had the procedure that a water bill would be sent in a 30-day letter, a 45-day letter, a 60-day letter, shut-off notice, shut-off, and then a lien. So I assume that those people that have liens did get shut-off notices and were amply notified.
Check on that, make sure. All right, and a motion and a second to adjourn.
Second.
Yeah, all people, say aye.
Aye. Good night.
Good night.